Good afternoon, this is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding here to discuss a little bit about penalties taxpayers receive when they get a foreign gift from a foreign person, what they could do to minimize the chances of getting the penalty, and if they do get the penalty, what they could do to try to abate it. So, foreign gifts and reporting. If you are a U.S. person, such as a U.S. citizen, lawful permanent resident, foreign national who meets a substantial presence test, whether you live primarily in the U.S. or not, you may have to report the foreign gift. The person reporting it is the U.S. person. The person who's giving the gift is a foreign person, like a non-resident alien, your mom or your dad, who isn't not a U.S. person, but you are a U.S. person, for example, because you have a green card or you met substantial presence. If you exceed the threshold, you have to file the form. And the thresholds will vary depending on whether the gift is from an individual or multiple individuals, entity or multiple entities, or if it's a foreign trust distribution. The highest threshold is when you receive a gift from individuals, and the lowest threshold is when you receive a foreign trust distribution. When it comes to the Form 3520 and foreign gifts, the reason why there are so many traps is because it's almost nonsensical the way they set it up, because there's no income component. Whether or not the gift generates income or not is not dispositive as to whether you have to file the form. So the first thing is, if you're a U.S. person, no tax return is required to be filed in order to have to file a 3520 to report the foreign gift. In other words, you may not have to file a tax return, but you received a foreign gift or inheritance of $500,000. You still file Form 3520. It's not per gift, it's the total value of the gift in the year from one person or related person, certain related person. So for example, someone gives you one gift of $60,000 for the year, not reportable for 3520. Someone gives you two gifts of $60,000 for the year, it is reportable, right? Because then it's $120,000, you exceed the threshold. And then if you have related persons and combined their gifts exceed $100,000 for the year, then you have to file it as well. So in other words, it doesn't have to be just one gift from one person. Also, you don't need to bring the gift to the United States. That's a misconception, which makes sense, because you think, if I don't bring it to the United States, why would I have to report it, right? But that's not the way the IRS sees it. If, for example, your grandma gives you a gift of foreign property, the property's been in the family for years, it doesn't even generate income, if it exceeds the threshold, you have to report that as well. So some additional facts to know about Form 3520, reporting foreign gifts, is the Form 3520 goes to Ogden. So sometimes taxpayers will file their tax returns in Ogden, but not always. Even if you don't, you still file the 3520 and you send it to Ogden. When you file late, you may become subject to fines and penalties. And I think it was October of 2024, the current IRS commissioner at the time made it known that, hey, we're going to stop doing these automatically assessed penalties because it's absurd. What that means is, you file a late 3520, you're automatically assessed penalties, typically 25%, because most people file it more than 5 months late. We're going to put a stop to that, but the commissioner is no longer there, and so they haven't formalized any procedure yet. They may, but they haven't yet. So when you file the form, you may get penalized. That's why it's crucial when you do your submission that you establish reasonable cause using a totality of the circumstance approach. There's a good chance the IRS can waive the penalty up front, depending on what your situation is. Where is the money coming from? What's your relationship to that country? Have you filed it before? Is it your first time filing? Was it used for school purposes? Was it used because you don't qualify for a mortgage because you don't have credit? Or was it just a huge distribution from a company offshore? Like, depending on the different facts and circumstances will dictate the chance of you being penalized. But even if you are, just know that you can still get those penalties reduced and eliminated if you can establish reasonable cause. We got a ton of free information available on our main website and our sub-websites. You can always reach out and schedule a reduced fee initial consultation if it's appropriate to your matter, and it's something that we handle here. Again, my name is Sean Golding with Golding & Golding. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.